Hey guys, Harry here from the Art Gear Guide. Thank you so much for watching this video today. First of all, I just want to apologize for the whole thing that's happened lately. I put up a live stream a few nights ago. Purely and simply, it was a test. I was just testing the setup, I was testing the cameras. There was no real content to the live stream. It was just to make sure I had all the cameras working that I want to have working and stuff like that. But I mentioned on the live stream, and I've put up on social media before as well, that I will be coming back to the channel. So let me explain the reasons why I'm coming back. This wasn't some sort of... At the end of the day, it was pure and simply a temper tantrum on my part. I got frustrated and angry, and I'll talk about that later. But the reasons why I'm coming back is because as far as I was concerned, when I made that video, that was it. I wasn't doing anything else. I wasn't coming back. I was going to keep on doing Patreon because over there it's a select few people. The people that are there really want to be there, obviously, because they're paying like $2 a month, and so it's a lot more. It's a lot more manageable, and it's a lot more calm and stuff like that. And so that was the plan. About a day after I made the video, obviously I read all the comments that were coming in. There were hundreds of comments coming in. Really, really nice comments, really supportive, everything. But at that particular time, I didn't want to read them all. I was reading like a few that were coming in. I came out to the studio and I was doing a drawing, and it was the first time that I did a drawing where I didn't set up a camera. I wasn't worried about lighting or anything like that, other than the light that I was using to give me so I could see the colors best. And it felt really strange. I've been doing this for 5 or 6 years, 7 years now, I think maybe. And every time I do a drawing, I record it. For either just a simple speed drawing, or if it's to do as a tutorial over on Patreon, or if it's to help demonstrate a product that I'm reviewing. And like I say, every single time I'm recording it. And when I in the past, I would always record things just in case, just in case it turned out good and I could upload it. A lot of the time I recorded stuff and just deleted it because it was rubbish. It just didn't make any sense. But this was the first time I didn't do that. And although I enjoyed the drawing and all the rest of it, it just felt strange. It felt really odd for me to be doing it and not have a purpose behind it. Don't forget, I was never an artist before I started this channel. I started this channel originally because at that particular time, there wasn't very many reviewers out there of art supplies, and in particular, coloured pencils. With the exception of perhaps Marty from Owen's Art and Lisa from Lockery Fine Art and Lindsay the Frugal Crafter. Other than those three, I don't think there were many others about. And their channels were kind of like a mix of lots of different things. In any case, it wasn't just specifically reviewing products. And so I decided that I would start a channel reviewing products as a new artist, somebody new to these products, and try to provide the best information I could about the pencils. Obviously things grew and things developed and companies started reaching out to me and all the rest of it, and the channel started to grow and all these other things, and that was excellent. And when I'd finished with it all, and I genuinely had finished with it because I was fed up with dealing with certain things that were happening on the channel that all content creators have to deal with. And a lot of people who don't create videos, they have no idea the time that goes into making these videos. I personally think Lindsay, the Frugal Crafter, I don't think she's human. I think she's a machine. because she puts out content on a phenomenal pace. Now, I know I have a disability, I take a lot of medication and all the rest of it, but Lindsay's work ethic is phenomenal. And I can't tell you guys, as a content creator, just how much I admire Lindsay for all of the stuff she does. It is absolutely phenomenal. It can take me 3 days, maybe 4 days, to put together a video review. Before I even start the product, I've got to take all the photographs, then I've got to edit the photographs, make sure they're all, the white balance and everything is all good on them, that they're clear, that there's no blurred photographs, and if there is, I've got to come back and take those photographs again. Then I'll do some testing with it. If need be, I've got to contact the company. I'll contact the company. Sometimes it's by email, so I've got to wait for a reply before I can move on. Then I'll do the artwork. And when I'm doing the artwork, I've got to record that. Once I've finished the artwork, that can be like sometimes 16 hours worth of video footage. I put it over on Final Cut Pro. I put it all together. I take the audio off it because the background audio. I put music over it and I reduce it down to 6 minutes for a speed run. That all takes time, rendering and all the rest of it, which is the reason why I got the Mac Mini, because the laptop was just not fast enough to deal with all of that. Then I go over and when I'm doing the artwork, I'm writing notes down. I'm writing things down that I am encountering about the product so that I can remember to put it into the review. Then I'll do the video review. And when I do the video review, that can happen. I can do maybe 4 different reviews because something will happen. The dog will come to the door, or my wife will shout for me to come for dinner, or whatever. Something will happen and it'll cause me to shut it down and have to restart it all over again. Once I get the review done, then I come over, I put it onto Final Cut Pro. Again, I start editing. I've got to stitch the audio together because I have a separate microphone to the microphone that's on this camera. So that audio has got to be stitched together with the video. Once that's done and it's all in sync, I'll then make sure that the color balance is right, the white balance, everything like that. I try not to touch that as much as I can so that it's all natural, but that's not always, you're not always able to do that. I then have to watch the video to make sure that I didn't, like, halfway through something, say a swear word, like drop something or something like that. So I've got to make sure that that swear word isn't in it. So I've got to re-watch it all again because my memory's terrible. Once I'm good with it and it's done and dusted, I upload it to YouTube and it sits there along with the speed drawn until I'm ready to post it. Then I come over and I do my written review. So I'll write down all of that. And again, that's not just as simple as just, typing out something. I've got to go back over, make sure that the spelling's right, because sure as God, somebody's going to tell me that I've spelled something wrong. The punctuation as well. I've got to make sure that's all right. But because I'm dyslexic, I've got software that I've got to run it all through. So I'll write the gibberish, put it through my software, and it helps me kind of like get it all together. So I do that, and once it's all formatted and it's all down right and all the rest of it, then I've got all the images that I've edited, and I bring them over and I put them into the review and on the written review. That's the third part of the review. The final part of the review is then just taking some of the images that I took of the speed drawing when I was doing the artwork and put them up separately over on the Art Gear Guide so that if people want, they can go across and they can just click on an image from a certain part of the process, enlarge it, and take a look at the pencil strokes or the paint on the particular paper that I'm using, whatever you want to do with it. And that all takes so much time. And when I had that encounter over the product that I wanted to review, and there was, it was only 2 or 3 people, but when I had that encounter, I just thought it was the straw that broke the camel's back for me, and I just thought, that's it. You know what? I'm almost 50. I'm 50 this year, and I just thought, I'm too old to be dealing with this nonsense. And a lot of people were saying in the comments that were coming in the emails and stuff like that, Harry, just ignore it, turn off the comments, all these wonderful ideas. And I thought to myself, that it sounds petty, just turn off the comments or just ignore what they're saying. What I contribute, the reason why this channel has grown as good as it has, and the community, the vast majority of the community that is part of this channel, I personally think I'm so lucky, because although I don't have hundreds of thousands of subscribers, the subscribers that I do have come back time and time again, and they're watching the videos that I put out, and they're so incredibly supportive. And so I count myself very, very fortunate and very lucky. Right at the beginning, when I started this channel, it has grown into what it is now, because people would say, Harry, the lighting's terrible. You got to do something about the lighting. Then the audio's terrible. Harry, the audio is really bad. You've got to do something about that. So I would do something about it. When I was doing the reviews, I used to just do those swatches. So I would get the pencil, do a swatch, and that would pretty much be the review over and done with. People were saying, Harry, you need to try and get some artwork done with it and put it up. So I would do that as well. These were all criticisms that were important in the growth of the channel. Criticisms that I'm so thankful for, because had I not have got them, the channel probably would just be the same as it was from day one. There would have been no change. I think criticism is important. And that includes, by the way, somebody turning around and saying to me, I disagree with your review because I disagree with what you said about that product because X, Y, and Z. Or the artwork that you've done is not very good. It doesn't represent the product very well. All of those critiques are not only acceptable by me, but I think that they are crucial, because when they're down in the comments section, in my opinion, is the bread and butter of this channel. And because the reason why is because I put out a review. I'm only one person. You should not just be listening to me in any case for all of your information. You should fact check what I'm saying against other reviewers like Marty Owens or Lindsay or Lisa and other ones that I can't think of right now. But you should always fact check what I'm saying against all of those other artists, because they know just as much about these products as I do. But for me personally, the comment section is what is made this channel. And the reason why that is because most people will say something down in the comment section, and it gets a debate going. And so therefore, if anybody is looking to buy a set of pencils, say like the Dermot drawing pencil, and they come across and they watch my review, if they read the comments, they'll see some people like them, some people don't like them, and the people that don't like them will say the reason why. And, there could be a whole host of reasons. Maybe the core's too hard or something like that. And somebody with arthritis, an artist with arthritis just can't get the grips with them, or they don't sharpen well. And so somebody else who might have arthritis in their wrists or their hands, when they come across and they see the review and they read the comments, they'll garner information from that, valuable information for that. What was happening when I put that video out about the review of the company, and I can't even name the company because I know it'll cause problems. That's how ridiculous this world is that we live in now. But I digress. The product that I wanted to review, I knew that there would be backlash only because I did a review of a marker that came from Ukraine, and the backlash from that was crazy. But the thing about that was, a lot of people thought that was a Russian-based product, but it wasn't. They're Ukrainian, so that kind of like put people in their place. This time it was a Russian-based product, and it caused loads of problems. But the people who were making comment about it, they weren't just saying, I disagree with the fact that you're doing this, Harry. They were saying that by me doing that review, I was as good as the soldiers doing the killing. And that for me was just too much. And that's that. And here's the other thing as well, guys. You've got to try and understand this as well. Obviously, there's time differences around the world. So when most of the reviews I put up, they get put up at night time here in the UK. So I'll go to bed and I'll wake up in the morning and there'll be all these comments. And then I can go and sit down and go through the comments and reply to them as best I can. So when people say things like that, and they make out that that's what I support, and that's the type of person I am. It may not, for people like you that have been part of the channel for a long time, you guys will just dismiss it, and that is great. But there are a lot of other people out there that won't dismiss it, and they'll go, really? He's like that? Bloody hell. And they'll either do one of two things. They'll either just walk away from the channel, which is fine, or they'll go onto their social media platforms and they'll say, hey, did you hear about this artist, the Art Gear Guide? He's the X, Y, and Z. And it creates a whole big thing. And I just wasn't prepared to get into that. I just wasn't. I spent years telling my kids to stay away from social media for as long as I possibly could, until they got to the age where I couldn't really do it anymore. Because of the dangers surrounding social media and the vitriol that people will say. And it's almost like that there is a group of people that wake up in the morning and their sole goal is to cause problems, cause issues. Now, the reason why it chewed me up was because I was torn between, I'm a huge advocate of free speech, but at the same time, free speech does have a limit. And that was something I took from all of you guys, all of the comments. Harry, yeah, free speech is all very well and good, but this is your channel. You've got to police it in the way that you deem fit. And so that's what I'm going to be doing. Now, I don't want to go too bang on too much about what happened. So going forward, the channel will pretty much be the same. The only thing I'm doing, it really is, I need to focus a little bit more on Patreon. And so what I'm going to be doing on Patreon going forward, for the people that are over there and anybody else that might want to join it, once a month I'm going to do a live stream where I can just sit down and talk to you guys. It's much easier to sit down and talk to a smaller group of people and answer questions than it is to, say, do a live stream and maybe have a couple of hundred people come in on the live stream and try and answer all those questions. It's really difficult to do that. So over on Patreon, I'm going to do that type of live stream once a month. As well, over on Patreon, in fact, all of the tutorials that I have done have been artwork that I have done as part of a product review. And so all I do is I come over and I just put remember what I was saying to you, when I do the speed drawn video, that could be 16 hours, I'll reduce it down to 6 minutes. So what I do is I get the video back and I'll expand it back up to 16 hours or something like that, and then I'll reduce it back down again to, say, like a 4-hour video where I can talk through it and do a voiceover. I'm not going to be doing that anymore. The tutorials that I do from this point on will be specifically for Patreon. So I will take the photographs, so like still life, botanical, landscape, that type of thing, where I can take the photograph. There's no copyright issues whatsoever. Anything I provide over on Patreon in terms of images is free for you to do what you want with, because I will be the photographer. And also as well, I'll be providing black and white image as well as line work for the people to trace or do whatever you want to do with it, as well as the actual reference image. So that's what's going to happen over on Patreon going forward. Now, here on the channel, there are 4 things I will not tolerate anybody being called on this channel, including myself. I can't even say them because YouTube will pull it down. I'll write it down in the comment section or in the description down below. Those 4 things, if those 4 things are mentioned or insinuated, whoever does it's gone. It's as simple as that. It's gone. There's not even going to be a debate about it. They're just gone and never to return. So And these 4 things, believe me, once you go down and have a look in the description, are so far removed from art, but they were part of what was being said as part of the reason why I was quite happy to shut everything down. So that's the reason why I'm saying that. Now, I know you've waited a long time for me, from when I announced that I'm going to be coming back to putting videos up. I don't know what has happened, guys. I really don't. I have done a few videos. I've watched them back and I've deleted them. And I've spent days doing the videos, doing the artwork, I just can't get my head around why I think that the videos I'm making now are terrible. I don't know what's happening. I don't know whether it's something to do with me or whether what I'm watching is terrible. I really don't know. But I've done a couple of videos that were like comparison videos, reviews, that type of thing, and I actually uploaded them to YouTube. Just sat on my YouTube thing, ready for me to make them public, and I watched them back again, and I just deleted them completely. So I'm going to get back to work today, and I'm going to make sure that I get some groove going again where I can get back into doing these videos. Right now, I'm just blocked, and I don't know what it is. I don't know. I just don't know. But hopefully I'll get through it, and I'll just get the videos out as soon as I can. I think that's about it, guys. I just want to say thank you to everybody that supported me during that time, because it meant the world to me. And I eventually did sit down and read every single comment that came in. I didn't reply to everyone because there was a lot of comments that came in, but I did read every single one. Same with the emails that I got. And I know, Marty, you reached out a couple of times. I just wasn't, at that time, I just wasn't in the mood to talk to anybody, really. I was so upset with myself about how I acted, how I reacted to what was being said when I'd done that other video saying that I was going to close the channel down. I was embarrassed with myself. It was a part of me that I never wanted to be exposed on this channel ever. It was a part of me. It was who I was in my past life. Now, a lot of people can say, well, that was necessary for you to be that type of person in the army. I don't know whether that's right. But whoever I was, I didn't like. And starting this channel and starting art is what changed me and turned me into the person I am now. I'm not saying that my past, because my past does define who I am as well, but it's an ugly version of me that I know who I am. I know what I am, and I know who I can be, and I know my flaws. But I just don't want to expose them. But it is the reason why when people say, "Oh, Harry, you're a good person. You do really nice things." Yeah, I do. But that doesn't make me a good person. Not yet. I've got a long way to go before I can think of myself in those terms, compared to my past in the army and what I did as a soldier and what I seen as a soldier, all those things. So anyway, I hope to have the video up really soon, and I'm so sorry for the delays. I know, like I said, I put a thing out on social media a while ago, and don't read too much into that live stream that I put up a couple of nights ago. That was purely and simply just to test things, just to test out the lights and make sure I can switch between cameras. Thank you very much, guys. I look forward to seeing you again in the upcoming reviews and comparisons and all these other things that I do have planned. So thanks very much, guys, and thank you so much for your support. I can't tell you how much it means to me. Bye.